Hello, friends, and welcome to the Union Labor Advisory Network. I'm Mike Fina. Today, I'm extremely proud and privileged to be with Debbie Pantin and Krista Whitman here with us today to talk a little bit more about their organization, OutReach, to learn a little bit more about their background, history, and experience, as well as what OutReach is doing within our communities. So I'm so thankful for you both to be here and to learn a little bit more about you. So Debbie, tell us a little bit more about you as the CEO of OutReach.
Great, thank you. And first of all, thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
I've been in the field of behavioral health, addiction, mental health services, healthcare work for over 25 years. And I actually am a social worker by trade, but also have done other, background degree work in other areas as well. But my passion have always been working in the addiction space and helping individuals and families who struggle with addiction issues.
Mm-hmm. And your tenure with OutReach, or your world within?
So I actually have been at OutReach a little over 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I actually knew of OutReach and knew the founder of OutReach really well. And then when her name is Kathy Riddle, and as Kathy was getting ready to retire, she said, I'm getting ready to retire. Might you be interested in applying? And I said, sure. At the time, I was the CEO of another organization. But one of the things for me, I started out my career working with children in the mental health space. And throughout my career, I worked a lot with adults and I worked a lot with families. And then one day I said to myself, I really wanted to go back to working with children. And you can't work with children without working with families. So when, again, Kathy brought that to me, I was like, you know what, this is time for me to circle back. And that was 5 years ago. And boy, it seemed like just yesterday.
Wow.
But times go by fast when you're having fun and you really enjoy what you're doing.
That's great. And in the world of the construction trades that we work with today, could you elaborate a little bit more about how you're working with some of the building trades organizations in New York as well?
Absolutely. So that part is new for me as executive working in this field. So I've partnered with many different organizations in terms of fundraising, but never in my career have I really worked with partnering with unions the way that I do since I've joined OutReach. And I have to tell you, it's the part of my job that I enjoy and I love, because it's the ability to really work with a group of people who you would think at the offshoot have very different worlds. We're working in addiction space. They are working in, trades and union and labor. And you think those two worlds are so different apart. Well, come to find out, they are not. So for OutReach, from its inception, the organization started to collaborate with folks in this area, unions and laborers. And we found that there was a lot more in common. And one of the common pieces was the ability and the cure for families, and the cure for individuals, the cure for community. Unions are very community oriented, and a big part of what we do and the way we approach our work in addiction is as a community. We go through this process of healing as a community. So we find a lot of comfort and a lot of interest working with unions.
That's great. That's awesome. And Chris, I know some of the services that might be provided through OutReach that you can elaborate on as well.
So OutReach offers a broad spectrum of services, from harm reduction all the way to adolescent residential treatment and adult residential treatment. So what we do is we work with the whole person, including the family, as Deb pointed out, to build healthy lives. So we provide services that can range from screening, intervention to services, linkages to treatment based upon where that individual lives, all the way through outpatient treatment that includes bringing the family in and including the family in the recovery partnership. We offer adult inpatient services, adult residential services, and adolescent residential and outpatient services. So we really offer anything that we can offer, and whatever we can't, we link. So we don't believe in being the only game in town. We want to be able to link individuals to the services that they need. And one of the services that all of our individuals and adolescents and adults need is vocational. And that's been one of the great things in working with the unions that we've experienced, is the unions will come in and speak with our clients, adolescents and adults. We've been able to refer clients back and forth for training and experiential experiences. So, I mean, that's been one of the great things about working with the unions inside of OutReach.
That's awesome. That's really great to know. And I've been involved. I've come to some of your events, some of your fundraisers where you
Yes.
collaborate with a lot of
Yes.
different building trades, some of the contractors and associations to really show support. Because the construction industry, there is a big, from a percentage-wise, regards to suicide, addiction. I guess it's probably one of the most, where people need those particular services.
Yes.
And you look at, the profession, people getting hurt on the job, may not go take certain medicines and then fall into that particular, the cycle that you guys all see. And I've seen, the New York City and New York State building and construction trades put together some of these members assistance programs.
Yes.
And maybe you want to elaborate a little bit about that as well, since you're working in collaboration or you're working together.
Yes, so we're very fortunate to work with the local 731 Excavators Union to have a MAP program where we carry a phone, and any member can directly call that number and speak to one of our social workers to receive crisis management, to receive support, also linkages to treatment, referrals. They can call as many times as they want, and we are able to provide support whenever they call.
That's great.
And we're very excited to be able to do that because, as Deb pointed out, union members, they have the resiliency, but we also, to your point, recognize that we're seeing an epidemic of suicide, of mental health concerns, and of opiate addiction. The opiate overdoses, there's so much stigma around this right now. And to be able to work with the union organizations as well as the community to destigmatize these things, to make it more valid, that we can discuss this and we can provide the support that is needed, is so critically important.
Yeah, yeah. And I see it today, and again, it's refreshing to meet people like yourselves and doing such good work, just trying to relay or amplify the great work that you're doing and connecting some of the people that could utilize your services, as well as get you connected with some of those vocational union locals to say, are you utilizing these particular services? Are you aware that they're available to you? Yep. And then really bring the communities together to work cohesively to help others. And that's really the point of the ULA network really is to support, educate, promote union labor and our communities, and work with service providers that are servicing those particular members. And again, to be affiliated, associated, and to know people like yourself is so refreshing, and I'm privileged and blessed to know you both. And if there's ways or things that we can do to help support you, we're here to do.
Absolutely. And we get a lot of support from the unions. As a matter of fact, twice a year, we put on 2 events, one in the city and one on Long Island, and they are strongly supported by the unions.
Yeah.
And that is something that we are always very much grateful for, our partnership with them on these fundraisers.
Yeah.
And these fundraisers also helps to highlight the issues of mental health and suicide and addiction issues for the members. And the members attend these events, and you can tell they get a lot out of it and seeing the support. Last year at our Long Island event, we had a graduate, which we often do, come back to the event and speak at the event. And we invited a graduate back to speak, and lo and behold, he is a union member now.
Yep.
And he was so proud of that. And we were so proud of him to see where our world of working with an individual, he was 13 at the time. And here it is, almost 7 or 8 years later, and he is part of the union.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful story.
That really is, and you hope to hear more stories like that. From people being in unfortunate places, but being surrounded with the support that they need to get them to that next level. And then for me, I'm really privileged to work with so many different union organizations because of that family support. I mean, the brother sisterhood and with these organizations, and some of the people that we interviewed today as well. Even after they retire, they have a home with their retiree club at their union to make sure that they understand what their benefits are. Are they being, are they utilizing the services that have been negotiated for them even after they've retired?
Yeah.
And to see that, to know that those things are available, makes me proud to be able to promote and support those initiatives. And then again, you're wrapped into the whole community piece as well. And to know that you're there, it just makes it's just a beautiful thing.
Yep.
So Debbie, could you tell me a little bit more about some of the future events that you have that are coming up in this year?
Great. So we have 2 events each year, one in the city and one on Long Island. And the Long Island event is actually right around the corner on June 5th, where we do a luncheon. And all of our events are luncheon type events. And then we have a Metro event, again, the 5th. But it's December 5th, and it's at Cipriani's. Yes. And again, it's a great opportunity also for us to work with folks like Gary LaBarber and Mike Brugal, and these individuals to identify in folks for us that we can give tours to, really partner with over the year and honor them at these events. And they're really great events. So thank you for asking.
I know. I go to these events. We'll have them on our ULA calendar for the future. So if you're looking to attend a great event and give back and donate to a great cause, be sure to look out on the ULA network for that as well. Right. Ladies, I want to thank you both for being here, for sharing your story, for telling us a little bit more about OutReach. I'm happy to promote all the great work that you do, and look forward to future collaborations and partnerships to be able to support your initiatives, the work that you do within your communities, as well as working in collaboration with the building and construction trade. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. I know that OutReach have been here over 40 years, working with the unions, and we're ready to go for another 40, plus a 40, and another 40. We're not leaving.
I got you.
We are with you guys forever.
That's great. That's great to hear. So, Krista, if somebody wants to get in touch or needs to utilize some of the services of OutReach, how do they get in touch with you?
That's a great question. So we have a centralized intake phone line. It is 1-833-OPINY-ORG. And anyone who needs any assistance for their family, for their friends, for themselves, if they have questions, if they just want to talk to someone, they can call us, and we will be able to assess, screen, provide support, and provide linkages to treatment wherever they are. So we highly encourage them to call, and that number again is 1-833-OPINY-ORG.
Thank you very much, Krista. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. I'd like to thank all our sponsors for helping to build and promote the ULA network. It is because of you that we're able to support, educate, and promote informative content relevant to labor. Please subscribe, like, and share our channel and media. I'd like to thank you all for your support.